Welcome back to Nebraska Nightly. We are live from the Iowa Convention Center in Des Moines, where the race in Iowa has been called for former President Donald Trump.
Results are still coming in throughout the night as we wait to see who will take second place, and if Nikki Haley can hold on to her momentum going into Iowa.
Caucusing has wrapped up across the state, and Trump has emerged as the clear victor. Haley and DeSantis are neck and neck, polling about 19% and 21% of the vote, respectively. Ramaswamy trails far behind.
Votes will continue to be tabulated throughout the night and made official tomorrow. In the meantime, Trump celebrates his victory, securing his place as the frontrunner.
The Iowa caucuses allow for speakers to represent each candidate before votes are cast. These speeches give campaigns a final chance to sway voters or make points in important districts. Some caucus locations saw major representatives from each campaign. At Franklin Junior High in West Des Moines, voters heard from both Donald Trump Jr. and Nikki Haley herself.
Some of our reporters visited a caucus location at McCombs Middle School, where the race between Trump and DeSantis was very close. Let's take a look at what caucus goers had to say.
And who are you caucusing for today?
DeSantis.
DeSantis?
Yep.
Okay. And what made you choose him over the other candidates?
I think he did a wonderful job as governor, represented the Republican Party very, very well, and I like his leadership. I think he'll do a good job.
Okay. And have you caucused before?
Yes.
Gotcha. And did the weather affect your decision to come out today?
No. You'll find Iowans, we're going to come out no matter what.
America has really gone down in the dumps as far as morality. The evil is just everywhere. It's just an unsafe place to be. And something has got to change. And we need to have somebody that can bring us back to the reality of morality. There's not too many out there that are going to do that.
I think for me, it goes back to summer of 2020 when I felt like he took a really data-driven, scientific viewpoint to the pandemic, and I think showed a lot of leadership then. So I think that's when I first became a fan of his, and then kind of hoped he would run for president.
As the Iowa caucuses wrap up, several questions remain. Trump's victory in Iowa comes as no surprise to those closely monitoring the polls. However, it will be interesting to see what develops before the Republican National Convention in June. Will Trump's competitors keep their hats in the ring?
As the candidates look to the New Hampshire primary just a week from tomorrow, many Republicans are left wondering if Haley or DeSantis can consolidate the anti-Trump vote, or if they will be left battling for second place once again. Will Haley keep her momentum moving in New Hampshire? Can she become a legitimate threat to the Trump campaign, or is she simply delaying his inevitable win of the Republican Party nomination?
Next, let's hear from Ella Johnson on what she's seen this weekend in Iowa. Ella, you've been on the scene for not only the caucuses, but also several candidate rallies throughout this weekend. What's been the most interesting part of this experience? What have you seen, and what's it been like?
As far as the most interesting thing I've seen during this class trip, when we went to the Vivek Ramaswamy rally earlier this morning, there were significantly more people there than we expected to have seen. It was a packed house. There were upwards of 200 people there, and they were fired up and ready to vote for Ramaswamy. And then at the caucus site tonight, I was at the Franklin Junior High School here in Des Moines, and there were appearances by Donald Trump Jr. and by Nikki Haley, who both talked about what they saw as the vision for the Republican Party and for their respective administrations. Donald Trump Jr. spent most of the time touting the accomplishments of his father's administration during his first term and talking about what he sees as the failures of the Biden administration during this term. Nikki Haley spent most of her time talking about the economy and talking about her experience as a governor and as a member of the United Nations and how that prepared her for the job of president. While we were there, we spoke to two voters who were both going for Nikki Haley at the caucus today, one of whom voted for Trump twice, and then because she felt she had no other option, and then this time is voting for Nikki Haley because she sees her as a moderate choice between Biden, who she doesn't like, and Trump, who she didn't like. We have another voter that we talked to who was was a Democrat up until this afternoon, where she changed her party identification from Democrat to Republican in order to vote in this, because she was dissatisfied with how the Democratic Party has been angling itself in the recent years. She sees Nikki Haley as a middle ground between two extremes that she doesn't particularly enjoy.
Great. Thank you, Ella.
Now that Trump has secured the win, we look to New Hampshire's primary next week. This concludes our coverage for the 2024 Iowa caucuses. Thank you for joining us here on Nebraska Nightly.
Good night and stay warm.